Katy Perry and her darn Sharks at last year's Super Bowl halftime show. It was an epic performance, sometimes controversial, sometimes memorable. Always the topic of water cooler conversation the day after the game. We love the halftime show.
We do.
Yeah.
I have to be honest, I'm not the biggest football fan, and this is what I look forward to, is the halftime show. You know, I'm going to a party later tonight, and that's where my eyes will be.
Dancing Sharks.
Dancing Sharks. You just never know what will happen at the halftime show. We see a lot of these moments go viral the day after, so there's always a lot of excitement. It's like watching a big award show. But, you know, let's take a look back at some of the more memorable halftime shows. Now, this is funny. I don't remember this time, but Up With People. Hannah, you're looking, I see your face right now. Up With People, this was a group founded back in the 60s. It was very clean cut, an educational group. They performed 4 halftime shows. They had the most performances in any halftime show, and they were very clean cut kids. They were singing and dancing. It was very much like Sesame Street for adults. That's what I kind of think of. But this group was one of the big performers before we see the big names like Michael Jackson, who I want to talk about next. Michael Jackson came on in 1993, and the King of Pop changed the way we thought of the halftime show. Now, went from those dancing kids to seeing this megastar hit the stage. His performance was groundbreaking in that it paved the way, and it really set the bar for decades to come. Now people are still trying to live up to what he was able to do to get the crowd going, and just seeing a big pop performance. And then we move on to some more controversial times, like, remember Nipplegate?
Yeah, I do.
Justin Timberlake and, of course, Janet Jackson. And, this one is rough. This was the night that we coined the term wardrobe malfunction. And it was just all wrong. But the performance went down as one of the most controversial. Of course, we can't show you the full performance, but you'll remember that Justin Timberlake had his song, and the last line was, "I'll have you naked by the end of this song," and kind of removed part of her costume to reveal her chest. So that didn't go so well, but his career got a boost. Hers, not so much. She had to make a public apology. And then we go to Madonna. I don't know if you remember that year, but Madonna had been away for the spotlight for about 4 years, and a lot of people criticized having her as a halftime show. They didn't see her for the American football, and you know what? She really killed it. She brought on some guests as well. Nicki Minaj joined her, MIA, and that performance kicked up sales for her tour. And then I have to talk about Queen Bee, Beyonce, really quickly. She really had a stellar performance. I mean, if you go on YouTube, she has still the most viewed halftime performance, and she just brought down the house. Actually, there's a joke because they lost power towards the end of her performance, and they say that she just killed it, killed the power. It was so explosive, and it'll be great to see her. We know she's going to be back tonight, and of course, Destiny's Child came back for a reunion. We didn't think we'd ever see that, but she brought down the house with that. So a lot of exciting, memorable shows. I was having fun going on YouTube and checking these out.
Yeah, I like actually all the clips you put in there. That was fun. So you're talking about how it can boost an artist's profile. So what could it mean for their exposure?
Well, many of these artists, I mean, they went on to have great sales. A lot of them ended up going on tour later in the year. Beyonce, her Mrs. Carter tour would sell out later that year. Madonna also, her career was kind of lagging. Justin Timberlake had a huge boost as well. So this is something that really does add a boost to a lot of artists. And I had a chance to actually check in with Google Canada about how a lot of these performances that end up on YouTube, we see huge traffic going to artists like, Missy Elliott. She came in. So take a listen as to how we see the online reaction and boost for a lot of these artists.
It's an enormous exposure opportunity. So after Beyonce's 2013 performance, her YouTube views actually spiked 89%, and that's off a huge base. Missy Elliott is another great example. She was a feature artist, but after her Super Bowl halftime performance, traffic to her YouTube videos actually doubled. So it's an enormous opportunity and stage for musicians and artists to be out there, and these days that exposure amplifies online as well.
And tonight we'll be watching Coldplay. We now know Beyonce will be joining them on stage, as well as Bruno Mars. I'm sure it's going to be a stellar performance, and we'll probably flock to YouTube to rewatch it and rewatch it again. And Beyonce just released a new song and video last night. So
what a coincidence.
Maybe we'll get a taste, but sure, it's all part of the plan.
I am betting we're going to get a taste of that tonight. Thanks, Tashauna.
You're welcome.